Well, welcome to Diplomatic Channel. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Happy Independence Day, Nigeria, and a happy National Day to the People's Republic of China. If you've been watching Channels television this past week, you will notice we've brought you a couple of reports on China's celebration of its National Day and that of Nigeria, since both are on October 1st. We'll be listening to a summary of President Bola Tinubu's address to the nation in a minute. Then later will be a discussion I held a while back with the Chinese Consul General in Lagos, Yan Yuqing. It promises to be a great show today, so let's get to it with a quick check and other discussions in diplomatic circles.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tugar, has called on Nigerians to keep faith with the Tinubu administration as the president gears the country towards the entrenchment of democracy and sustainable development. In a statement by his Special Assistant on Media and Communication Strategy, Al-Qasim Abdul Qadri, the minister reiterated the commitment of the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure the successful realization of the president's 4D strategy: democracy, development, diaspora, and demography. The European Union's Foreign Policy Chief, Josep Borrell, on Sunday visited the Memory Wall of fallen defendants in the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, during the newly introduced Defenders' Day, commemorating soldiers killed in the conflict. Mr. Borrell met with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as they laid flowers and honored the memory of the members of the armed forces who died for Ukraine with a minute of silence. U.S. President Joe Biden has suggested that Democrats have made a deal with Republicans on support for Ukraine after the U.S. Congress left aid for Kiev out of a stopgap government spending bill that averted a shutdown. The nature of the deal is unclear. Mr. Biden also lambasted Republicans for holding up government spending talks and said he was sick and tired of the brinkmanship after a partial shutdown of the federal government was narrowly averted.
At 7 on Sunday morning, October 1st, President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria made his first Independence Day address to the nation. While he highlighted challenges facing Nigeria, he also announced a wage increment for wage workers to cushion the impacts of fuel subsidy removal. He promised to reposition the country with bold economic reforms and the expansion of the social safety net to millions of persons.
Dear compatriots,
in a series of many firsts since assuming office as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Tinubu released his thoughts on Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary, commencing with appreciation for the nation's founding fathers.
Let us commend our founding fathers and mothers. Without them, there would have been no modern Nigeria. From the fading embers of colonialism, their activism, dedication, and leadership gave life to the belief in Nigeria as a sovereign and independent nation.
In his 15 minutes nationwide broadcast, the president says he's unwavering in his resolve to lay a solid foundation.
Those who sought to perpetuate the fuel subsidy and broken foreign exchange policies are people who will build their family mansion in the middle of a swamp. I am different. I'm not a man to erect our national home on a foundation of mud. To endure, our home must be constructed on safe and pleasant ground.
Perhaps to assuage the agitations by organized labor, the president announces a 6-month provisional wage increment, among others.
Based upon our talks with labor, business, and other stakeholders, we are introducing a provisional wage award increment to enhance the federal minimum wage without causing undue inflation. For the next 6 months, the average low-grade worker shall receive an additional 25,000 naira per month. The new CNG conversion kits will start coming in very soon, as all hands are on deck to fast-track the usual lengthy procurement process. We are also setting up training facilities and workshops across the nation to train and provide new opportunities for the transport operators and entrepreneurs. Similarly, we are increasing investment in micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Commencing this month, the social safety net is being extended through the expansion of the cash transfer programs to an additional 15 million vulnerable households.
President Tinubu also highlights his effort at repositioning the nation's apex bank.
I pledged a thorough house cleaning of the den of malvisions the CBN has become. That house cleaning is well underway. A new leadership for the central bank has been constituted. Also, the special investigator will soon present its findings on the past lapses and how to prevent similar recurrences. Henceforth, monetary policy shall be for the benefit of all and not the exclusive province of the powerful and wealthy.
The president, who says he's not insensitive to the hardship associated with bold economic reforms, appeals to Nigerians for understanding and bravery for the future.
We can do it. We must do it.
Nigeria and China share the same National Day of October 1st. For the People's Republic of China, though, the day commemorates the founder, Mao Zedong's formal proclamation of the establishment of the People's Republic of China. That was on October 1st, 1949. Although observed on October 1st, another 6 days are added to the official holiday, normally in lieu of the 2 weekend breaks around October 1st, making it a de facto public holiday comprising 7 consecutive days, also known as the Golden Week. Weeks before the celebrations, I had a conversation with the new Consul General in Lagos, Yan Yuqing. Consul General Yan Yuqing, thank you for inviting us into your home in the consulate here in Lagos and for speaking with us.
Yes, that's my pleasure.
Is this your first time of coming to Nigeria and Africa, perhaps?
Yes, I arrived in Lagos in late May of this year. This is my first time in not only Nigeria, but also Africa. Before, I worked for a long time in Europe and Latin America. Although I have been here only 3 months, but I have already fallen in love with Nigeria. And I know that Lagos is a very important trade and commercial center of Nigeria. And I am impressed in vitality of this city and friendly people. You know that in the first week when I arrived in Lagos, my Nigeria friend picked up a beautiful Nigerian name for me, Uchi. I love this, the meaning of this name. Also, I love Nigeria food, just like moi moi, fufu, jollof rice. And last week, I accompanied our Minister of Culture and Tourism to visit Nigeria National Museum. So we enjoyed your long history and rich culture. Also, I'm the fan of Super Eagles, the Nigeria national football team. So in conclusion, I have full confidence to fulfill my duties to promote China-Nigeria relationship.
Yes, and you know, it's interesting that, you know, China and Nigeria have this relationship, but you're the first female consul general we've had in Lagos. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, I think that like a woman, so we have soft power. So maybe sometimes when we met difficulties, we can use our own ways to resolve it. And for us, it's very easy to communicate with the local people. Especially, we can do a lot for the children, for women. Yes, the same. And have been here. And when I said that I'm the first female, they all give me a warm welcome. So I think that it gives me more confidence to fulfill my duty, just like General Counsel of China in Lagos.
You were talking a little bit about this, the first time that I started asking questions, and that was Sino-Nigeria relations. You explained some of the projects that China already has in Nigeria.
This year marks the 10th anniversary of China's Belt and Road Initiative. So in the past 10 years, our cooperation developed very well, especially in trade and economy, infrastructure, culture, education, and so on. And you know that now Nigeria is, China is already Nigeria's largest contracting market and the second largest export market and the second largest trade partner in Africa. Just like last year, our bilateral trade achieved 24 billion US dollars. And here we have a lot of landmark of projects, for example, Lekki Deepwater Port, built by China Harbor Energy Company, and also Lagos Blue Rail Line, created by CCECC. We have here also opened the Lekki Trade-Free Zone and Aogong Guangdong Trade-Free Zone. So all these projects provided a lot of jobs for local community and promoted the local social economic development. And also, I think cultural exchange is the most important part of our bilateral relations, since our President Xi Jinping put forward the Global Civilization Initiative and also proposed implement 9 projects, including cultural exchange with Nigeria and all other African countries. So last week, we successfully held the China Film Festival in Lagos, which promoted the mutual understanding between peoples of our 2 countries. And also, we are very satisfied that our cooperation in security is keeping developing. In July of this year, Chinese Navy warships paid a successful visit to Nigeria. I'm so glad to see that a lot of Nigerian people boarded to Chinese warship to share the charm of our ships of peace, cooperation, and friendship. So I can see that really I have full confidence in the prospects of China and Nigeria cooperation.
Yes, and we've seen a lot of Chinese investment in Africa. I mean, even President Xi was in South Africa last week for the BRICS summit. He announced more cooperation on the continent. China makes all of these investments in Africa, and you're not reaping the debts back. You're not asking for benefits at the end of the day. It doesn't make good business sense, though. Making all of these investments and expecting nothing in return.
Okay, yes, just like you noticed that on the just finished BRICS summit in South Africa, our President Xi Jinping put forward 3 very important initiatives and plans on helping Africa industrialization, agriculture, modernization, and talent development. So, and also just you mentioned that in agriculture the infrastructure projects. Yes, they are indeed the highlights of Chinese enterprises' investment and construction in Nigeria. I think that these projects provide a lot of jobs for local people and help Africa to develop very well. So I just want to say that China treats Africa and African people as our own brother, own partner, own friend. So, and these projects have appreciated by African countries and their people. So I think that that's why we invested a lot. And I want to also give you some examples. Yes, from the beginning of the new center, China have already helped Africa to build more than 6,000 kilometers railways and more than 600 kilometers roads and nearly 20 ports and 80 great power facilities, and also 130 hospitals and clinics, 170 schools, even 45 sport stadiums, and more than 500 agricultural projects. So I think that these projects can prove that China is the real friend of Africa. But I want to say that unfortunately in the world there are still some countries and some people don't want to see China and Africa friendship, and they criticize that China make Africa debt trap. But it's I think that for no reason. Indeed, China always attach importance to the Africa's debt issues and always work together with them to cope with it. You know that China have already contributed 63% Africa debt service suspension, even more than any other G20 members. And so I think that I wanted to press that China have never making Africa debt trap. On the contrary, China is a partner of Africa to help them get out of poverty trap.
So I'm glad that you mentioned the issue of debt because, that's the major concern for Western countries that, China is making all these investments in Africa to reap them later, And, me being in China for just a few months, I see that what China is trying to do is simply replicate what already exists in China in Africa. There's no fear, that you're trying to clear this up, that, China is not coming back to reap, the debt for these projects. But, the question really is, what's in it for China?
Yeah, I just want to say that because in Africa there have abundant resources, there have wise and diligent people, they have great potential of development. So I think that we invest here, it's benefit E for China, E for Africa. It's a win-win cooperation.
You are Consul General. In fact, I think you actually resumed office just as the new Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, was also coming in. So you both have spent almost about the same amount of time in office. What are your expectations under this new administration?
I believe that under the common concern and efforts of leaders of our two countries, our cooperation in the future will make new achievement. So you know that our consulate district covers 20 states in the southern Nigeria. So these states are have a lot of resource and excellent people. So I just mentioned as the Chinese conflict, especially female one. So I will try my best to make great friendship with the local government to seek more friends and opportunities. So my priority will be cooperation in infrastructure, agriculture, modernization, digital economy, security, cultural, education, sports, and so on. So really, I hope to share our experience in poverty reduction, in green development, and other areas.
And I'm glad you mentioned the issue of, partnerships between countries, because I think it was here last month that I don't remember the name of the association, but it's an alumni association, I think, in collaboration with the Confucius Institute here in Nigeria, for Nigerian students who've gone to China, who studied, who've come back, just a group for them to, be able to interact and, share with each other what they have learned and all of that. What are your expectations for the group? What did you hope to achieve with this? Because it is important. The time that I spent in China, I got to learn a lot more about China those 3 months. And for someone who's just coming to the country for the first time, I had such a great experience being there.
I'm so glad to see that these students, when they return to their motherland, so some of them opened the Chinese language training center, and some of them opened even Chinese Kung Fu school, and some engaged in trade with China, and some even opened Chinese restaurant. Yes, difficult. So next time I want to invite you to test. So I think that because they live in China, they study Chinese, so they can know more better Chinese culture, Chinese history, and they know how to communicate with Chinese people. So they can be the messenger or build a bridge for strengthening our mutual understanding between people of our two countries. So really, I hope that in the future, there will be more Nigerian people to study Chinese, and especially I will support the exchange between children, between young people and women, yes, to understand by themselves. And I also hope that more Nigerian people go to China by their own eyes to see China. And of course, I hope that more Chinese people, especially Chinese enterprises, will come to Nigeria, yes, to find investment opportunity, to see Nigeria's beauty, even to test delicious Nigeria cuisine. So that's my hope, and I will try my best to realize my dream.
So I remember you talked about your favorite Nigerian foods. You'd mentioned fufu, you'd mentioned moi moi, you'd also mentioned, I believe it's jollof rice. So which of them is which one is really your favorite?
Moi moi. So because I think that it's similar, it's rice dumpling. Yes, it's similar like Chinese 饺子.
You know it's made from beans, right?
Yes, I know. Yes, I had tested it.
And interestingly, we're actually drinking Chinese tea.
Yes, so let's together drink, and I hope that maybe we can together support the football exchange, yes, cuisine exchange, and young people, yes, exchange.
Yes,
Yeah, Ganbei, yes. Thank you. And also, cheers for China, Nigeria, long-lasting friendship.
This is where we end the program this week. I'm glad you could join us. Don't forget, you can watch this episode again, as well as others you may have missed on youtube.com/channelsweb. Go to the playlist, search for Diplomatic Channel. You can reach me using any of the social media handles showing on your screen. I'm Amarachi Obani. I'll see you next time.